Hey everyone, it's Chris at Service Autopilot. I want to talk to you today about a feature that's crucial in getting set up properly to use Service Autopilot day in and day out in your business. And that is looking at your user roles and rights within the system. Another way to think about these is the permission levels of different employees within your company that are going to be accessing your system. This is really crucial. So let's dive into the system here. I'm going to show you how to both modify the user roles and rights that we preload your system with, as well as just creating a new one from scratch. We'll also look at how to assign that new role in your company to a specific employee that needs to have it. So let's dive into the system here. I'm in the roles menu, which is found under the home button. We'll click on settings and we see the option for user roles and rights. Just a quick note here, starting out, the only person in the company that would have access to this screen is going to be the initial user that was created. Whether that's the owner of the company or a manager of some type, whoever you created that initial account for, that is who is going to see this initially. You can give more people access in the future. So we'll click on user roles and rights. And as you can see, we preload your system with a lot of options here. So the easiest way to handle this is to just go in and look at the ones that we've given you. Let's start out with that. Let's say I want to look at my scheduler. We'll click on the scheduler, and as you can see, I've got a tab here that represents each individual menu option at the top of the page. And so as I navigate through these, I can actually increase or decrease the level of access that an employee would have to one of these individual menus. So for example, we're working with the scheduler role within the system. So I would come over here to the scheduling tab. And as you can see here, we have some options available. But if I wanted my scheduler, say, to have access to the job cost summary report, I would want to check that off. It might be important in my company for that person to have that report because they're the person making decisions based on those dollar per man hour numbers of how tight the routes are and if any changes need to be made. So I might want to give them access to that. You might not want to, but the point is that you can totally customize this to your liking. And the last tab on the right for your team leader roles, more like the people that are in the field doing the work, this is where you're going to access what they can choose on the mobile app. So do they have the ability to add a service or not? You would check that here. Can they modify rates or view rates of services? By default, that's not selected for your employees, and so you would want to come in and choose that if you have a team leader that you want to give access to those prices. So once you get your role here set up the way you want, you'll simply save it. We'll come and choose a home access right for this scheduler. We'll show the Today tab and save. So that's how I modify an existing role. Now you can also just do that from scratch. I will say that building one from scratch is a little bit more time consuming because no boxes are selected, and so you would have to look through each one of these things individually. Just trust us on the basic stuff, on the main roles, and just kind of tweak them from there. If you do, or if you are the type of person that just wants to go through checkbox by checkbox and really tweak it that way, by all means create your own role here and then you can use it in the future. So once I have my roles created and edited, then I'll navigate to my employee list under the scheduling tab. We'll click on employees under resources, and here I can choose which employee I want to modify their role. So for example, we'll choose this crew lead 1 person. I'll drill into that person and edit their account. And under the user settings tab, I see which role is assigned to them. Now in my case, it's the team leader role here. But if I wanted to give this person a different role within my company, I could do that using one of these options here. And you would see the options that are preloaded in your system as well as the custom roles that you've created. Simply choose the one that you want and click save, and that employee would now have that level of access. So that's how you modify the permission levels for individual employees within the company. The reason that we do it more on a role base instead of an individual employee basis is so you can quickly add new employees to the correct role that they're going to serve within the company. So we'll talk in the next video about why this is so important. So stay tuned and watch that video.